of the easiest ways to frustrate users is with text that looks clickable but isn't. Or worse, text that should be clickable but doesn't look like it. That's why defining interactive text is critical. It's not just about making things look nice, it's about removing friction, building trust, and guiding users to take the right actions. When you design text styles with intention, users instantly know what is read only, what's a small action, what's a primary action, and what could be destructive or irreversible. In this episode, we'll break down the core categories of interactive text, the properties that define them, like color, weight, spacing, and icons, and how to apply them systematically so your interfaces feel consistent, clear, and effortless to use. Having said that, let us look at a few examples. To start with an example here, we again have Airbnb. So here, from this particular interface, what all do you think is clickable and why? So if you look at this one, so we are very used to the search bar being clickable. We are very used to the nav bars being clickable. But even for the nav bars, look at this very nice hover interaction that they have added. And for the selected state, there's a tab, thingy here. There's an underline here suggesting there's a tab interaction here. So if you go to experiences, it's sort of, you see this little balloon, hot air balloon sort of rising up and this thing happening. So these are just little, details that you can add to your design to make the experience a little more delightful. But let us look at this interactive search bar right here. Now, if you look at the search bar, it's in one structure, but because of the hover effect that you have in here, you can easily tell that all of this is going to open up differently, right? So that is how they have done it. Now, let's just say I select Bali here. It automatically takes me to the Bali page where I see all the Airbnbs available in Bali. And of course, one of the best ways in desktop, the cursors, wherever it's clickable, it sort of changes to a pointer cursor. So I know like these are clickable, and then there's this arrow as well which sort of appeared. So I know I can just, click on these, and these are all interactive. And if I just click on the price, there's an underline here. So that means this price, they could have just cut this price and just, mention this. But because there's an underline here, I know that this is clickable. And once I click on it, I get the price details. And then, you can hover over it and cross it out. So how they have handled things that are interactive is pretty interesting, because even if you look at the filters here, let's just go in here. So you see how the selected states are different. So any type is selected, and they have done that with a border here. And they are also dividing this with, if you look at this particular area, there's a divider here, but when I hover over it, it sort of disappears, and then I have this nice hover interaction. All these minute details, you can see how they are playing with interactivity. Can I move this or not? Again, there's a slight shadow here, which suggests that this is a movable slider. And, that's that. And then if you see this minus button is deactivated, it's not active, but the plus is. So now, because you can tell that with the color difference, right? So that's that. And even for this one, there's a hover interaction and there's show more. So you see how they're handling all the interactive buttons, and you can easily tell what is clickable and what is not from the things that are there. Now for desktop, it's slightly easier because you also have the hover interaction where you can easily suggest what is clickable and what is not. But if we go to the phone version, let's just do that, and let's just open the phone version. I'm going to go here. So here on phone, you don't really have any hover interaction. So from seeing the screen, you have to guess what is clickable and what is not. And if you see, there's this arrow. So there are these little things that tell you that this is clickable and this is not. For example, Popular Homes in Gautam Budh Nagar has this arrow right here. So this is a clickable link. And then you get all these house options. Let's just go back. Even for experiences, if this is a tab and we are very well aware of things that are clickable. And also it sort of comes with this, little click interaction that's there. So that sort of adds to the fun. of using the app. And even here, if you see, these large images are all indicative of it being clickable. And once you click on it, you sort of go down and you can just see how this is. Look at these cards as well. These have like a shadow behind it, which suggests interactivity of these cards. You can also click on show all, and then you can just, scroll through this entire thing. So the idea here is you see how different things, have a question, message this person. So you saw that had an underline underneath, showing that it is a clickable thingy. Now here, activity level is not clickable, but accessibility is. How do you tell the difference? It's with this arrow right here. So once you click on that, you enter the accessibility tab. These are some cool websites which I came across. Now everyone is aware that nav bars, the options that we see on nav bars are clickable, right? Because we are using websites for so long, we know what is clickable and what is not. We usually expect sign up and login to be here. That is how it is. But do you see how they have changed the interaction slightly? The moment you hover over it, there's this little italic sort of a thing that's happening. So that's that. And then you have like a different, animation, micro animation for the sign up for free, sign up button. And then they have a shadow here. And then for login, it's again, that italic sort of a thing, micro animation. So yeah, the very little things that are there suggesting interactivity across the page. Now this is a very cool example. If I just, just move my cursor, it sort of rolls. But if I click on it, it sort of just, comes like that. And it's like a wheel sort of a thing, and you can just click on it. It shows interactivity again. And here also, if you see, the position of the navbar is at the bottom, but you know that this is clickable. And even for this one, look at this. This is like a sidebar that they have here. And once you click on it, you can tell that this is clickable, right? Even if, you can tell this is clickable, right? How can you tell that? Because of the positioning, how the active state is like colored, and then you have a slightly de-emphasized an active state. So yeah, I love the design here, how, the text is going behind the title and it's sort of getting slightly lower in opacity. So yeah. So again, we have this website called Arcade. And here, if you hover over the items in the navbar, the other options open up. And when you hover over them, you see this thing in the background, a very slight, gradient, gray sort of a background, which suggests that these are clickable items. So that's that. And even for this one, if you see learn more, when you hover over it, the color sort of changes. And then you have like a little shadow effect on the CTAs, suggesting interactivity again. And then look at this one, how the icon appeared. These are really cool. Now you can see how this is, a call out here where they want to say 20K companies have chosen them. And even for this one, there's a hover and then you can see the active state. Even for learn more, you can see how it is. So they're not just using color to, suggest interactivity, but also an icon and then also a micro animation here. So that's that. And even for like, these little things in here that you can check. This is a really beautiful website. Do check that out. Here, if you look at the navbar, it's pretty simple, and how they are, just doing the active state by having an underline at the bottom. It's a very common sort of a practice, but very popular. And if you see down here, it's just a simple website, but like when you hover over it, there's a little gradient in the background and shadow suggesting you can click on this and yeah. And, even for this one, like you see how they have done this. So request a demo is like their primary action, so they have this nice color And then for explore products, you see how they have changed the color of the underline here. And wherever you see the interactive, like these are the main CTAs, and even for this one, so there's this hover interaction, which suggests that these are clickable, buttons. So that's that. Now I want to show you another example. So here I am from one of the past projects that we did. So if you see here, I'm at the site settings, right? And from here, you can see this is the site bar and what all is clickable here. And you see how they have used majorly, the blue color as the accent color to tell what is clickable and to identify the links and everything. But let's just go to general and go down here. You see how unpublished is the only thing that is red in color, because this is a danger zone and you don't want the user to click on this. So if you just click on this by mistake, it shows you another pop-up. Are you sure you want to unpublish this project? So that is how you want to, design the interactivity of your buttons. You don't just randomly choose colors and, this treatment that you want to give for the interactivity. Now look at this sidebar, how they have done it. So the active state has this, background color, but here you don't have any hover state as such, but we know all of these are clickable because it is in the site settings, and the positioning and everything tells us this is clickable. So yeah.
And that's for this episode. Now you know how to design interactive text that feels intuitive, trustworthy, and easy to use. In the next episode, we'll go one step further, learning how to combine text with other elements to create balance, contrast, and visual rhythm across your layouts. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps more designers discover the series. See you in the next one.